change the shoes. The shoes, money.
Wow, that's good observation. You're right. He did have
ball
driven to right field. Back on it goes Frelick. It's gone.
It's got to be the shoes.
Tucker.
It's the shoes or the bat or whatever it is for Kyle Tucker on any given holiday or a special occasion. Stop it. That's my first message of the show. Stop trying to be not you, Kyle Tucker. Be you.
Wait.
Just be you, Kyle Tucker.
Stop trying to not
be you.
Be you.
Yeah.
So
be you, Kyle Tucker.
So be you.
Be you, Kyle Tucker.
It would have been a simpler message.
Yes. I stumbled through my words.
And we
haven't done a radio
Monday.
show since Thursday. Okay? I hope everyone's okay. We hope everyone has power. If you don't,
man, I
so
feel
sorry.
for everybody that's going through that. One of my buddies, Joe, lives in the Heights. His shed completely smoked. 2 fences gone. And he didn't even get the worst of it in his neighborhood.
Ugh.
Drove over to some friend's house. They just closed on a house Thursday at 5 o'clock. So right before everything went down. Luckily, everything was good for them, but they had no power either. And driving on 11th in the Heights and just seeing the damage everywhere. I mean, I feel very fortunate. I had my power back late Friday night. If you're dealing with that, we hope that we provide an escape because, yeah, it's going to be a brutal week. Getting pretty hot out there.
Yeah, that was tough, man. There's been a lot of weird storms that have happened in my 9 years of being here. So like I moved here in April of 19 or April of 15, and right after that's the Memorial Day flood, and then we got the Tax Day flood with back-to-back years, and obviously Harvey happens the next year, but this one, it's like, look, growing up in the Midwest, I'm used to tornadoes. It's like Tornado Alley where I grew up originally in the southern part of Illinois, down in Carbondale. So like I'm kind of used to storms that come out of nowhere. This storm was crazy. Like to see what it did downtown, the Wells Fargo building. That's why 92.5 is not on the air, because that's where our tower is at. But
it just got smoked. Our tower. I don't even know what happened to it.
There's the bar where it looks like a bomb went off.
Yeah,
downtown. The entire side of the wall is missing.
I'm not even kidding. I thought that was a picture from Gaza when I first saw it. I was like, that doesn't look real. But yeah, just wiped out a bar in downtown. It was jarring. I remember getting 3 push notifications on my phone, thinking to myself, okay, 1 storm warning is one thing, but 3, okay. So I went in, I grabbed all my patio furniture, and I brought it inside, and no less than 2 minutes later, the wind, you could see it. It was insane. A tree that I did not know existed on my next door property just comes into view. I have no idea where it came from. It was about a 7 or 8 foot tree. And yeah, you go drive around the neighborhood. I saw multiple branches that had fallen on cars that were parallel parked on the side of the street. It was nuts, and it escalated. And to what you said, Joe, yeah, the weather here, it's just insane. Matt Lanza, I don't know how many people follow him. He is an energy industry meteorologist, and he is the editor of the iWall. So basically, he keeps tabs on weather in Houston. He does a great job. For those of you scoring at home, Houston has endured 2015, the Memorial Day flood, 2016, the Tax Day flood, 2017, Hurricane Harvey, 2019, Tropical Storm Imelda, 2020, Tropical Storm Beta, 2021, the grid collapse due to the freeze, plus Hurricane Nicholas, 2022, extreme summer heat. I guess that's just normal, and a drought. Last year, the hottest summer on record, and this year, something called a derecho, which I had never heard of before.
Same. Thought it was a made-up word the first time I saw it.
I did too. I was like, oh, okay, we're really trying to make a storm Latin, which is great, inclusion. But derecho is widespread, long-lived, straight-line windstorm that is associated with a fast-moving group of severe thunderstorms known as a mesoscale convective system that can cause hurricane-force winds, heavy rains, and flash floods. Oof.
Yeah, not great. So obviously we were not in the air on Friday. So it's good to be back with you people.
Very good.
We missed you. And honestly, at least the Astros are getting some good things to talk about. The vibes are good. The Astros have won, 9 of their last 11.
9 of 11?
They've won 2 out of 3 this weekend over Milwaukee. So the argument of they're just beating bad teams kind of spit in the face of that a little bit this weekend. The leader in the NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers, you beat them 2 out of 3 times. And overall, it was a pretty positive weekend, Paul.
Really was. even Saturday where you lose, you liked for a while what you got out of Justin Verlander, maybe with a little less walks, and obviously you have the runners in scoring position issues. But yeah, on Friday you get another big hit from Jake Meyers, followed by a go-ahead 3-run homer by Jeremy Pena.
He's so good right now.
He is incredible. He leads the Astros in hits. The only guys with more hits than him in baseball are 1, Shohei Ohtani, 2, Mookie Betts, and 3, no offense to this guy who apparently is very good, but a guy that I had never heard of, the guy who won the 13-pitch at-bat with Justin Verlander, and his name is eluding me.
William Contreras?
William Contreras, right. Every single time I see his name, I'm like, wait, isn't Wilson Contreras on the Cubs? So
Wilson Contreras is on the Cardinals now.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is his little brother.
Gotcha. Okay. Again, my National League knowledge is actually non-existent because the National League isn't real to me, but Pena's crushing it. Jake Meyers is crushing it.
Big time.
Kyle Tucker gets the 2 home runs on Sunday after swapping into his orange cleats. Spencer Arrighetti pitches into the 7th inning, and honestly, if Brian Abreu could do anything, he might have gotten out of that with a really impressive stat line. Really satisfying weekend. Obviously, you would have liked a sweep, but now they're just 4 games back in the AL West, and there is a real shot that 6 games from now, they'll be back above 500 because the Angels blow. I can't name one Angel. And again, I'm not the biggest baseball knower here. And then they have the A's, again, who I think have lost 8 in a row. So
it's not good.
But for the Astros, it's great.
Yeah. Now, I can't remember if we talked about this or with Sean and I while you were in Florida, but the goal of this stretch for me was that when you get to May 27th, when you get to Memorial Day, and you have a 4-game series with Seattle, is you want to put yourself in position to either tie the division or take the division lead. And they are doing that right now. That 4-game series, in Seattle, you are leading to a big-time momentum turn of this season because you're playing much better baseball, the Houston Astros, but they've done you a huge favor, the Rangers and the Mariners. They have not taken advantage of your 45-game stretch.
It's just like last September.
Yeah, you're 8-2 in your last 10. Well, the Rangers are 2-8. So they are not playing good baseball. They're injuries. So the stretch that you started with, the Rangers are still not starting to go through. The Mariners kind of more up and down as they lead the division. But this is your moment to take back. And obviously, the Twitch chats all point out here, Jose Abreu potentially coming back Friday.
Don't bring the fart into the room yet.
We're gonna get into that in the next segment because we want to start with positive
vibes,
positive
baby.
vibes. Kyle Tucker, positive vibes. Jeremy Pena, but Spencer Arrighetti, super impressive. Jose Urquidy is going to get one more start in the minors.
Well, I hope so because yikes, it wasn't great. But
No, it
apparently his stuff was good. That's what the old pitchers always say.
Minor league stats don't matter. That's what they always say.
Right.
Minor league stats don't matter.
Chas McCormick also not doing well. At
Minor
Corpus
league
Christi.
stat. Well, see, I don't know if that rule applies to hitters in the way it does.
These are negative vibes. Back to the positive vibes.
Back to the positive.
Adolis Garcia pooped his pants in the outfield. Not actually. It was metaphorical, but yeah, he tried to catch a ball and just completely bounced off his glove. It was like he was asleep walking into that one.
Did you see the Acuna one that happened yesterday?
No, I did not.
Very similar. But he was standing still and just kind of bounced right out.
Who's Acuna?
The right fielder for the Braves.
Okay, National League doesn't matter. Whoever cares, Joe? Who cares? It's the National League. Doesn't matter. We don't care about that league anymore.
The Adolis Garcia one did make me laugh, though. That was an embarrassing play. But this was everything you needed from the Astros. There's a bunch of weird stuff going on that we're going to have to get throughout the show, like with Chaz coming back and Abreu, and honestly just the fact that they're like 2 men down in the bullpen right now.
You're bringing the vibes down. All right,
bring it back up.
Ryan Presley's ring finger is not going to bring us down. Brian Abreu's struggles are not going to bring us down. They're scoring enough runs, and it really does feel like this is the team that we all expected them to be.
Big time.
That's really what we're getting into, and it's about effing time, and luckily it is a long season, and luckily, as you mentioned, you're getting some help from the Rangers and the Mariners. Both of these teams have had opportunities to pull away, and yet they're not doing it. And now you have an incredible opportunity, a cupcake buffet the next 6.
I think you really can't say enough about what Kyle Tucker is doing this season. I mean, we joked around a little bit where I got bullied out of betting on Kyle Tucker. I didn't even make it to LaBerge this weekend because of the storm. We're going to have to reschedule that broadcast. But Kyle Tucker now tied again, unless Gunnar Henderson hit another home run I'm not aware of. Kyle Tucker tied for the lead in home runs in the American League. He is just on another level right now. This Kyle Tucker is so different. And what I think that one of the best parts about this run is that while all this is going well, you're still not totally there. Like, and it's a
can
good thing.
get better. Where do you think it can get the betterest?
Yordan Alvarez could start hitting baseballs.
Yeah. Okay, we're bringing the vibes down again.
No. This is a positive thing.
But
is that you're killing it right now as a baseball team without your best player contributing in the way he normally does, and you're rolling.
He hasn't had a run batted in a week, and he's only had one extra base hit. It was a double. He had that one game where he got to the warning track a couple of times.
He did. Hey,
positive vibes.
Positive vibes. Got to the warning track a couple times. How are you feeling about your Astros right now in the stretch that they're recently in? They're absolutely playing great at the moment, and it is just a nice thing to see after an absolutely brutal start to the season. From the 414 here, Paul says, relax. They beat the Rockies. I'm guessing that's supposed to say. The Tigers and A's in this streak. Brewers was a good win, but not impressed yet. Okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Because, and look, this is one texter. Thank you for your pin. I appreciate it. Shout out to you for listening. But to counter your point, this is the opposite of what everyone said early in the season. It's just a slow start. It's like, what is it supposed to be? Like, they're either, when they're good, they're bad, they're bad.
What if it's just Shania Twain texting in? That don't impress me much. So you beat the Rockies, and now you think you've got the touch. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think you're all right. But beat the Mariners and Rangers and get in first place and back above 500 first.
Not sure I had that in my Paul Gallant music bingo card. I didn't know Shania was your speed.
It don't impress her much. Shania should be everyone's speed.
Okay.
She's a strong, independent, and powerful woman.
Well, I agree.
Canadian legend.
Sure. I know.
One of the few Canadian imports that
that we like.
Yeah.
that we're good with. But yeah, look, I understand, Texter, where you're coming from, but this is the thing. You got to start somewhere, as the text line just said. Yeah. You got to beat someone. To turn your season around, you have to win games. This is the same thing as the Texans. You have to beat the teams in front of you. That's all you can do. Yes, if they win all these games and they get swept by the Mariners starting May 27th, we'll feel bad again. But right now, everything about the Astros should feel good. And it's not just because they're beating bad teams. They're handling bad teams. They're playing great baseball. You're doing it without Blanco. You're doing it with a John Singleton, who's been good at first base, has not been great as we thought he was going to be, at least for a small stretch. You're doing it without Presley. You're doing it with your bullpen still being in shambles. Like everything about this team is still on the up right now.
Yeah, it's trending upwards. And you should be feeling better, but also you can be annoyed with how things started.
For sure.
And you can also say, yeah, they're taking advantage of a schedule that's gotten easier. But by that same logic, you have to take a look back at the schedule. I mean, the teams that swept them, some of which were surprising sweeps, 3 of those teams are in second place. It's the Braves, the Cubs, the Yankees are in first place, who swept you. And who was the other team that swept them early on? The Royals. The Royals are in second place. The Royals are off to a great start. Mm-hmm. So I think these are things that you got to keep in mind. It's been a brutal schedule. That's not an excuse. They're better than this. But now that the schedule is getting a little bit easier for them, they're going to stack some W's. And the real question is going to be when they play against teams in those kind of measuring stick games. Seattle, what you talked about, the 4-game series there. The next one, you hope that the results are going to be different. They have to win one of those eventually. But along the way, do this. And guess what? You got 6 potential wins straight in front of you. They will be favored in every single one of the next 6 games against the Angels and the A's. Both those teams stink. The A's are finally coming back to earth. The Angels, again, I don't even know who plays for them. Anthony Rendon, is he there?
He's out.
Right. So that's it.
Mike Trout also out.
Right. I know that. He's out.
So make sure you knew.
Shohei Ohtani with the Dodgers.
Good point.
I don't know who's there. You should win the next 3 games.
Absolutely.
10-0 every single one of the next 3 games. Is that too much to ask for?
It might give up a run.
It's definitely too much to ask for, but this is what I would like to see.
I say Hunter Brown is pitching one of these games.
There might be a 10-0 and then followed up by a 2-1 win. You might have to deal with that.
And then maybe an 8-7.
Hunter Brown brought his ERA down, guys, over the weekend.
Love that.
He brought it down. Now, he did allow 4 earned runs in 5 innings, but he brought his ERA down. It's baby steps.
Baby steps.
Put 1 foot in front of the other.
Yeah, 1 foot right out of the rotation. That's what should be going with.
Well,
He's crawling his way to the bullpen.
Yeah, just maybe run to the bullpen. Like as soon as Jose Urquidy's back, run away. But speaking of Jose, is they're gonna be back.
oh damn it! I was hoping we could just continue to push this down.
Do you have more? You have more good vibes you want to discuss?
No,
first?
I don't. No,
Can we get in? Let's get in one more. James Cook was right, and Jake Meyers is incredible. Right
yeah, Meyers is playing out of his pants.
This is everything this is all the nonsense that this team between Dusty, Espada, Click, it
I hate
felt
that you
like
brought up
nonsense.
James Click though.
Like I agree.
That's negative vibes in the middle of the positive vibes.
All the things that they were telling us about Jake Meyers since he got hurt in Chicago a couple years ago that none of us had a reason to believe because nothing that he would do on the field ever showed it. What he's doing right now is incredible. He is on a whole other level. And I don't know if it's super sustainable, this level of what he's at, but it feels like it can be close to it.
I am 100% skeptical of it, but I will take it gladly because with Chas McCormick not here and Chas McCormick playing poorly when he was here, you need the help. And what's been really interesting is that without some players that you were expecting to see a lot of this year, McCormick and obviously Jose Abreu, who I'm sure we're about to talk about, you have not seen any fall off in production. In fact, you have been getting more than you probably expected, not just from Meyers, but Joey Loperfido.
Yeah, between Meyers, Loperfido, and John Singleton, they have been everything you could have asked for and
More.
more. Like, to Jose Abreu gave you nothing